You know, the challenge is you got to rebuild with a lot of new players who will be younger, have new roles, less experience, and how do they respond, you know, to these new roles? And I've been pleased so far with the way our players have embraced the new roles, the new responsibilities. We're going to be a work in progress, and that's going to be critical to our success.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by Truckworks. I'm Chris Stewart, along with the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coach, congratulations on a great 52-24 win over Tennessee, 15 straight now in the rivalry.
Well, you know, those other 14 didn't help us tonight. We needed to do a great job of executing. I think our players really competed well in the game, but, you know, we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. And giving them chances to be in the game, couple busts, you know, on defense where they made big plays, roughing a kicker, getting a punt blocked. I mean, all those things gave the other team opportunities at some point in the game. Those things we can fix. But, you know, our players just we need to become a team that doesn't need to get humiliated to be able to play good. And that's what we're really working on with this group, to make it be a part of their DNA, that when they want to go out there and beat teams. And it's always a great win to beat Tennessee. It means a lot to a lot of people. I think we had a fantastic crowd out there tonight, and I think they had an impact on the game, especially the student section down there. We got a couple false starts that really helped us on defense. So it's a great atmosphere to play in. It's what makes playing in Alabama and being a coach at Alabama something special.
Coach, early on, you had some key third down conversions that kept an initial drive going, and that would kind of be a theme throughout the night.
Well, we did a great job on third down offensively, especially early when we weren't running the ball very effectively. So we were getting 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 11s, and we converted 3 or 4 of those, especially in the first drive, a couple that were critical. And then they were only 2 of 13 on third down, which playing against fastball teams, if you can get off the field on third down, they never get started. Right. So even though they scored 24 points, they were all on big plays, every one. And even the 3rd and 8, that was a big play that got them down there when they hit 3rd and 8 at the 8. And that was a busted coverage on our part, miscommunication. So third down is critical when you play against a fastball team, because they never get those 10, 12, 14 play drives where your defensive players get wore out and have a tough time executing. So that was a real key thing in this game for us defensively.
Coach, let's get into those first half highlights.
First and goal from the 8-yard line. Here's the give to Robinson. A couple of stutter steps, breaks a tackle or two, and he's in for a touchdown. 8 yards on the give to Brian Robinson. 3 men on the right side in tight. Here's the snap. Looking towards Mechie. He's covered. Looking to the left side. Everybody's covered. Here now Bryce will run. He's in the 5-4-3-2-1. Touchdown, Alabama! He looked right, everybody was covered. He looked left, everybody was covered. He said, well, I got no choice. I'm going to do it myself. And a 5-yard touchdown run for Bryce Young. Brian Robinson to the left side of his quarterback. Play action fake. Bryce throws. Caught. Touchdown. John Mechie on play action. Throws everybody, and he picks up the touchdown on a pinpoint pass. And Alabama takes the 20-14 lead.
Coach left a little meat on the bone in the first half, but still got to the locker room with a 1-score lead.
Well, I was a little disappointed that we had 2 busts on defense. We got a punt block. We roughed the punter on 4th down and 23 or something. And then they scored 2 plays later. Well, we'd had an opportunity to get, a 2-score lead. We already stopped them and gave them another opportunity, and they hit a big play. We dropped a pass to start the game. We fumbled the ball on the 9-yard line going in. So these things are huge swings in games that keep the other team in the game. So those are all things that we addressed at halftime. We didn't come out and start the second half like I wanted to. We went 3 and out twice. But the defense did a good job of stopping them after the block punt and holding them to a field goal. So we did a lot of good things in the game, but, man, we got some big plays that we need to clean up.
Well, Coach, we'll take a look at some of those second half plays in a few moments. Right now, we'll take a break here on the Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better.
Coach, what'd you tell them at halftime?
Well, I didn't think our energy and intensity was what it needed to be in the game. I thought we were a little lackluster even in pregame warm-up. And, you know, as coaches, we were trying to get them to lift their energy level up. So that's really what I was trying to – I said, hey, we get the ball first. Everybody's got to sort of raise their level of intensity. Let's move a little faster, run on the field, take the field, play faster. And I think one of the things that helped us in the game is when we started to go fast, because that made us pick up the tempo. But we didn't start the first 2 series of the second half. We went 3 and out, and the score is 21-14 or 17 or whatever. And we didn't really do that. But then as the game wore on, we did. But I think the fact that we went no huddle helped that a lot.
We'll see a lot of that as we check out the second half highlights.
A yard on that play, so it was not a sack. Here now, Hendon Hooker. That one was, however, as Hooker gets taken down for the first sack of the night by Phil Mathis. 45-yard field goal. Kick on the way. It is up, and it is good. 45-yard field goal, and the Crimson Tide adding to their lead. It's now 24-17. They're working from the 6. They can get a first down at the 2. Here's Bryce, steps up, pulls it down. He's going to run. He's going to lunge in. He's got a touchdown. That'll do it. 6 yards right there on the first play of the fourth quarter. And Alabama adds to their lead. A 66-yard pickup now to give to Robinson. He breaks 3-4 tacklers and goes into the end zone for an Alabama touchdown. 15 yards of hard running for Brian Robinson. And Alabama has taken the lead 37-24. Defense digs in. Robinson says you can dig all you want. I'm going over the top of you. Touchdown, Alabama. Touchdown, Alabama. The Crimson Tide on top now. 44-24 with the extra point. Slade Bolden in motion, goes to the left side. Bryce looks, throws. He's got a man across the middle. It is caught by Mechie down the right side. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama. 19 yards. Bryce Young to John Mechie. That combination working so well tonight.
Coach, a great win again, 52-24, and aided in large measure to that big fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think scoring 28 points in the fourth quarter was huge. I think Bryce had a great game. He had over 400 yards of total offense, passing, did a great job of scrambling and keeping a couple drives alive. The defense played really well from 14 until the big play where they got a 70-yard touchdown on kind of a fastball play. So we did a lot of good things. Defense got a big turnover that kind of put the game out of reach with the interception with Jalen Armour-Davis. So we did a lot of good things to finish the game right. Some of the things that made it a close game are things we definitely need to clean up.
52-24, again, the final. Alabama beats Tennessee. Stay with us. We got a lot more coming up here on the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by Truckworks.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Tiffin. Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you. And by Aflac. Get to know us at aflac.com.
Coach, what was the turning point for you tonight?
I think the turning point was when we give up a 70-yard play, and that gets them back to 31-24. And we go in on offense, hit a big play to Jamison Williams, big pass play. B-Rob makes a great run. We score. The next possession, we get an interception and take it, down and punch it in. So that really was a big swing in the game and really set up the win for us, actually, and took them out of the game. And I think it means a lot when the offense goes in and responds when you gave up a 70-yard touchdown. I mean, we weren't even ready to play on defense, and they just threw it over our head. So really good that our team responded that way, and what you got to do in the fourth quarter in close games.
Coach, love hearing you talk about your staff and one of the new members, Drew Swoboda.
Yeah, Drew is a new member of our staff. Took over special teams and tight ends. He's done a nice job for the players respond to him well, especially on special teams. You got to have a little leadership, so the players respond and want to play on special teams, and that's worked out well. And he's a good person. He's a great family. He's got a lot of connections in Texas from being a high school coach there. So we're very pleased to have him be a part of the staff.
Let's go Mercedes-Benz All Access with special teams and tight ends coach Drew Swoboda.
I grew up in Nebraska until I was about 10 years old, and then my family moved to the greater Houston area in Texas, and went to high school at Tomball High School, and had a good time there. Met a lot of great people, and was heavily involved in athletics, and went on to Stephen F. Austin State University up in East Texas and played college football there, and that's where I met my wife. I've got a great family. My wife, Christy, we've been married over 20 years, and we met in college, like I mentioned earlier, and she's she's a super mom and a super wife. She does a fantastic job. She's a coordinator of the household, and does a fantastic job with my two kids. Jack is my 6-year-old son, and he just started kindergarten this year, and he's loving it here. He's making a lot of friends. He's playing football and really enjoying Tuscaloosa. And my daughter's 10 years old, and she's enjoying school as well, and going to get involved in other activities.
Violent hands.
I think the biggest thing is a philosophy that I would have as a coach is just making sure that you leave no stone unturned. You take care of the little things. My grandma used to always say, take care of the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. And I think that if you just keep focusing on the daily things that you have to do, the outcomes will take care of themselves. But I think that's whether you're coaching a position or you're coordinating a group or you're the head coach. I think that you got to constantly make sure that the little things that matter you're addressing on a daily basis.
Cut the interception angle off. Hit. Cut the interception angle off. There you go.
What's great about coaching tight ends is they're kind of the ultimate Swiss Army knife. They've got to be masters of the passing game. They got to understand the run game. They got to understand the offensive line calls. Sometimes they play in the backfield like fullbacks. In our tight end room, we've got a diverse group of skill sets.
Ready, hit. Look it in.
When you're working with special teams, you get a touch and really reach every kid on the team. Whether it's field goal block, all the way to the kickoff team. You're getting an opportunity to really form a relationship and work with players from all different position areas. So that's probably the first thing that is really rewarding about being in the special teams area. Well, having the opportunity to come to Alabama was that was a situation that just about anybody would jump at. And when that opportunity became available for me, I absolutely said let's go. And it's been fabulous. I mean, just every single day getting to work with these players, work with this coaching staff. Some of the best players in the country, some of the best coaches in the country, and once again working with Coach Saban and the support staff and everybody involved. Just seeing how the process works here and how this organization is run, it's been unbelievable to actually experience.
Coach, time for the play of the game, brought to us by CB&S Bank.
Well, we're running this railroad route, which is really good against zone or man, and Tennessee actually plays zone. We're going to bring Slade over here in motion. All right, Mechie's going to run across, and these guys are going to run like double post. all right, and then we want a wheel route with the back, all right, which actually is going to drain the flat defender out. So we're getting 4 guys out to a side here, all right, because we got the double posts, we got the back running the wheel, Roy Dale, 8 comes across, they're out of guys, all right. So when you can get 4, if you don't match patterns and you don't take people back and you're truly playing zone, all right, you're going to get drained out here, all right, and then 8's wide open. Bryce does a good job of delivering him the ball, and John does a good job of scoring. So it's been a good play for us, zone or man. And we caught him in zone and overloaded him and made a big play and a touchdown.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Trustmark. People you trust, advice that works.
Coach, I know you love getting to talk about your players in this segment each week, especially guys like Phil Mathis.
Well, Phil Mathis is, a great leader on our team. He sets a great example. He's a hard worker. Most of the time the big guys are the guys you have to push. All right? But he pushes himself all the time. He plays hard in the game. And I think his play this year has really enhanced his chances to have a career at the next level, which I'm really proud of him for working that way. But off the field, he's never an issue either. I mean, the guy does everything he's supposed to do, and I'm really proud of the progress that he's made personally, academically, and athletically in his time here.
Let's learn more about Phil Mathis.
My name is Fedarian Mathis. I'm from Wisner, Louisiana, and I'm a defensive lineman. I really chose to come to Alabama because I feel like that was the best opportunity for me to make it out. Where I'm from, most people don't get to make it far, and I always wanted to leave Louisiana, so that was my chance to get out, so I just took it and ran with it. I think it played out well. I got 2 national championships, 2 SECs, so I think it's been real good for me. It's like you going to a concert, man. It's like you walk out the tunnel, the music playing, especially when it's nighttime, man. The lights flashing, and it's like we going to war. So it's like you got to scrap up and be ready, for whatever comes your way. I'd probably say when I got my first sack at Bryant-Denny, my celebration, it was kind of lit. I was dancing on the field, so I think I'll always remember that moment. And coming to the sideline, my teammates was happy for me. And just being here, man, the environment on campus, building that team bond with every team I've been with. I think those are my favorite moments. What most important for me is really just my daughter, playing for her. Hopefully I can just, make her life better than mine while she's a kid. Her name is Skylar Ray Mathis. She's 1 year old. She's very smart and grown for a 1 year old. And she's gonna be the next up in the family. That's probably the most important thing for me right now in my life, is my little girl. Just being here and being one of the older guys in the room, I treat them like some kids also, so it gives me a lot of training for when I get to take on that leadership in the room, and it translates, from being a dad. To the fans, I really love y'all. I can't wait to see y'all back in Bryant-Denny this year, and let's rock out.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you.
Coach, who's next is LSU, but what's next is a bye week for you.
Yeah, and I think the bye week's coming at a good time. I think it's, there's a couple things we need to get done. We got a real team that we're going to play in 2 weeks, so it's going to be a real challenge for us. So we need to get some players healthy. We need to get some players rested. But we also need to improve in some areas of our team. Even some of the things that happened in the game tonight. So whether it's special teams, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, so that we play with more consistency. But I think the rest will do us good. When you play 8 games in a row, I've given the players Monday off 2 or 3 times to try to, get them to be able to sustain physically. But this is happening at a good time, but we need to make the most of the practices that we have and the rest that we get.
We'll look forward to the next game in 2 weeks, but congratulations again on the victory over Tennessee. 15 straight now over the Vols in the rivalry. For Coach Saban, I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time on the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by Truckworks.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better. By the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Trustmark. People you trust, advice that works.